oe taniti atu o mai nai te e aho ta oto ini a utawa tino ta piri mai na ta ui here mai ta ita oi te i e po te mau feti a pura noa mai ini a i te whenua
AI is a massive driver of productivity. It automates repetitive tasks for freeing human workers for more complex creative work. The UN Conference on Trade and Development projects that the global AI market could reach a staggering $4.8 trillion by 2033, reflecting its immense economic potential. Second, AI is creating new job roles. While some tasks are changing, new demands are emerging for AI developers, data scientists, and ethicists. According to the International Labour Organization, while AI will affect tasks in many jobs, transformation, not outright replacement, is most likely outcome for about a quarter on jobs worldwide. In fact, for every job potentially displaced by AI. However, there is a significant challenge: AI's impact on job polarization and skills. The UNCTAD warns that AI could affect 40% on jobs globally, potentially widening inequality if not managed carefully. The ILO also highlights that jobs predominantly held by women, often clerical or administrative. So, what's the solution? We must ensure that AI complements, create a new world for a more complex creative work, and is a full manage for it. By focusing on this we can harness AI immense potentially. It can build a more productive, innovative, and inclusive future for all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates. My name is Melissa Angelina Loya Villicaña. Today, the American continent stands at the critical intersection. Artificial intelligence is advancing rapidly, transforming industries, redefining skills, and reshaping the very concept of work. As a delegate of the United States, I urge us not to fear this transformation, but to face it with unity, innovation, and vision. Across the Americas, from rural farms to urban factories, artificial intelligence is automating repetitive tasks and optimizing supply chains. But let us be clear. This is not the end of work. It is the beginning of a new kind of workforce, one that is digital, dynamic, and driven by continuous learning. To ensure that AI becomes a force for opportunity, no exclusion, the United States proposes 3 strategic initiatives focused on jobs. First, we propose the creation of an American workforce reinvention program to fund large-scale upskilling and reskilling initiatives. This program will focus on preparing workers for high-demand roles in areas like AI maintenance, cybersecurity, robotics, and green tech, sectors where human talent remains irreplaceable. Second, we support launching a continental job innovation lab, where governments, business, and academic institutions could develop strategies to forecast emerging job strengths. Artificial intelligence should not only benefit the privilege, it must lift up every corner of our continent. Third, we recommend forming a digital opportunity alliance for the Americas, indigenous innovation hubs, and community-based training programs in underserved regions. These aren't just police. They are investment in people, in dignity, creativity, and economic freedom. The United States believes the future of work doesn't eliminate the jobs, but the human potential. Thank you.
We will invite the delegation from Mexico to express the conclusions about the situation in America.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Fernando Sanchez, and we will continue with conclusions. Distinguished delegates, as we come to the end of this essential dialogue on the global impact of artificial intelligence, I rise to offer Mexico's perspective on its influence across the American continent, particularly in the realm of employment and job opportunities. Artificial intelligence is no longer a distant future. It is here, reshaping how we work, how companies operate, and how societies prepare for the workforce of tomorrow. From Canada to Argentina, and certainly in Mexico, we are witnessing a digital shift that demands not only innovation, but inclusion. In Mexico and many parts of Latin America, AI holds the potential to create new forms of employment, modernize industries, and connect workers to global digital markets. With the right training, workers in remote and underserved regions can participate in AI-enhanced sectors such as logistics, virtual services, and data processing. This is not just automation. This is adaptation. This is opportunity. My partner will continue.
For Mexico, the answer lies in balance, combining technological growth with equity and inclusion. We are advancing strategies focused on vocational training, digital literacy, and regional development, ensuring that no worker is left behind in this transformation. AI is also reshaping where skills are available. Critical thinking, data problem solving, and ethical decision making must now be central to workforce of development. Our people are not just workers. They are innovators, entrepreneurs, and creators of the future. We must prepare them not only to coexist with AI, but to live with it. In conclusion, the impact of artificial intelligence on jobs in the Americas is a call to action. We can shape AI into a force for social mobility if we act with collaboration, foresight, and share a commitment to opportunity for all. Let us ensure that every citizen from the mountains of Bolivia to the cities of Mexico has the opportunity to work, evolve, and thrive in the age of intelligence. Thank you.
Tiene el aire,
Apologize for the inconveniences. Now, we invite the delegates from Africa to be ready with their speeches. They will talk about poverty and inequality in Africa. Let's receive Kenyan's delegates to offer a general view about the problem in the African continent.
Good afternoon, distinguished delegates and all chairs and fellow participants. Habari za Yoni, mimi ni Humbe wa Kenya. My name is Moroni Cardenas Jimeno, and we are delegates from Kenya. And today, we're going to address a matter that strikes at the heart of our humanity: poverty and inequality in Africa. Africa is a continent of immense potential, rich in culture, resources, and resiliency, yet across the region, millions of people continue to live in conditions of poverty. In sub-Saharan Africa alone, over 40% of the population survives on less than $1.90 a day. This is not just statistics. It is a daily struggle for clean water, healthcare, resources, food, and education. Now in Kenya, the picture is equally troubling. Despite the growing economy and progress in technology and infrastructure, nearly 1 in 3 Kenyans still lives below the poverty line. Conflicts and climate changes have only deepened these challenges, forcing vulnerable communities further into hardship. Economics in Africa is not just poverty in Africa is not just economics. It is deeply connected to systemic issues, historical injustices, lack of access to education, gender inequality, and weak healthcare systems. But history does not have to end here. In Kenya and across the continent, there is hope. Young people are innovating, women are leading communities, governments and organizations are working to provide training programs, improve schools, invest in agriculture, and promote fair employment. Now, as delegates in this United Nations model, we have the power to champion policies that reduce inequality by supporting and promoting international cooperation, promoting and supporting sustainable development goals, and ensuring that AI reaches all those who need it most. Now let us remember, poverty is not a natural condition. It is a result of choices, and we can choose differently. Kenya believes in an Africa where no one is left behind. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon. My name is Madeline. I'm a delegate from Morocco. Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, the Kingdom of Morocco is honored to stand before you today in defense of a cause that transcends borders, ideologies, and cultures. The urgent fight against poverty and inequality across our beloved African continent. Despite Africa's growing potential, poverty remains one of our greatest obstacles. It is not merely a lack of income, it is the denial of basic human rights, of dignity and opportunity. In this context, Morocco wishes to present 3 key proposals to strengthen the United Nations efforts and deepen our continental solidarity. First, we propose the establishment of a UN African Innovation Fund focused on supporting local entrepreneurship and youth-led startups by investing in African talent, especially in rural and underserved communities. We can build self-sustaining economies and reduce dependence on external aid. This fund would prioritize green technologies, digital literacy, and agriculture-based innovation. Second, Morocco calls for a continental education acceleration program under UNESCO, focused on eliminating disparities in access to quality education. This initiative would provide gender equality in schools, provide digital learning infrastructure in remote areas, and train educators with modern inclusive methodologies. Third, we urge the creation of a UN-supported African social protection framework. This system would provide a minimum safety net, including healthcare access, food assistance, and income support for families living below the poverty line. The goal is to help governments build more resilient welfare systems, particularly in times of climate shocks or economic crisis. Morocco believes that these proposals must not remain words on paper. We must unite under the Sustainable Development Goals and act now with urgency, equity, and cooperation. As Africans, we share a history. As global citizens, we share a responsibility. And as delegates here today, we share a duty to speak not only with passion, but with purpose. Let us act together, because no nation can prosper while its neighbors remain in need. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, esteemed delegates, distinguished guests, Sabahul Khair, Anasmi Alisa Mayrin Silva Perez. It is a privilege for the Arab Republic of Egypt to address this assembly today on an issue that strikes at the heart of our shared humanity, the persistent challenge of poverty and inequality across the African continent. In conclusion, the Arab Republic of Egypt proudly joins this assembly with a deep sense of duty to confront the enduring challenge of poverty and inequality across our beloved African continent. As one of the oldest civilizations in the world, Egypt understands that true progress is not measured solely by economic growth, but by the well-being and dignity of every citizen, from the bustling streets of Cairo to the most remote villages of sub-Saharan Africa. Poverty is not just about income, it is about opportunity denied, potential wasted, and futures deferred. It is the child who all smiles to attend an under-resourced school. It is the mother who cannot access adequate healthcare. It is a young entrepreneur whose dreams remain unrealized due to lack of support and investment. This is the reality for millions, and it is a reality we must change. AG believes that the solutions lie not in charity, but in partnership, empowerment, and solidarity. We echo and support the proposals put forward in this forum to invest in youth-driven innovation, expand access to quality education, and establish a strong social protection system that protects the vulnerable, especially during times of crisis. But we must go further. Egypt urged this body to take a holistic, African-led approach that respects our diverse cultures, addresses root causes, and ensures long-term sustainability. We call on our fellow nations, international partners, and civil society to increase funding for local development, support gender equality, and invest in climate-resilient agriculture, and empower communities to shape their own futures. Let us not be divided by borders or bonded by the weight of history. Instead, let us be united by a shared commitment to restore dignity where it has been lost, to open doors where they have been closed, and to create a continent where every African child has the chance to thrive. As Egyptians, as Africans, and as global citizens, we stand ready to act. Not tomorrow, but today. The time for promises has passed. The time for bold, collective action is now. Let us rise together so that no African nation is left behind and no African voice goes unheard, because the prosperity of one must become the prosperity of all. In the spirit of unity and cooperation, the Arab Republic of Egypt extends its gratitude to this distinguished assembly. Thank you.
West African songs are incredibly rich, varied, and deeply tied to the history, spirituality, and daily life of the region. They are not just music in the Western sense. They often serve as storytelling, oral history, social commentary, and even a form of community bonding. Please welcome the National Ballet of Senegal. Applause, please.
from Asia to be ready with their speeches. The Asian countries will talk about peace and security in that continent.
Sejin Baskan, dearly delegates. Good night, Benin Eden Estrella Monserradiles Coscardiel, Tibogom Asia Davaris, Bigoven Konulu Tortais Turkey. Honorable Chairs, distinguished delegate, good morning. My name is Estrella Monserradiles Coscardiel, and I am honored to represent the Republic of Turkey in today's discussion on peace and security in Asia. Turkey sits at a critical intersection between Europe and Asia, geographically, culturally, politically. Our unique position gives us both strategic influence and complex responsibilities in the pursuit of regional stabilities. Domestically, Turkey has faced significant challenges from the threat of terrorism, including groups like the PKK and ISIS. To the 2016 coup attempt, we reshaped our internal security landscape. We have learned that peace must be protected not only through force, but through dialogue and resilience, press freedom, civil liberties, and enemy harmony. Especially with our Kurdish population, our ongoing priorities in strengthening internal cohesion. Regionally, Turkey plays a central but sometimes controversial role. We've taken in nearly 4 million refugees, many from neighboring Syria, and continue to support peace negotiations while addressing cross-border security threats. At the same time, disputes over maritime boundaries with Greece and Cyprus, as well as decisions like our military agreement with non-NATO partners, have sparked regional tensions. But these tensions reflect a broader reality. Asia as a whole remains a continent of contrast, remarkable economic growth, yet persistent security dilemmas. From border conflict in South Asia to raising military decisions, a continue, the peace and security in Asia require collective responsibilities, including Turkey stands committed to building a peaceful and secure Asia, not just for today's leaders, but for today's generations that follow. Teisha Killer. Thank you.
Ohayo gozaimasu. Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, I am Miguel Ángel García Hernández, honored to represent Japan in our discussion on peace and security in Asia. I would like to link the comprehensive vision presented by Turkey with Japan's concrete strategies and initiatives. Turkey emphasized multilateral dialogue, inclusive peace building and conflict prevention through regional and global platforms such as the UN, ASEAN, CISA, and SCO. Japan actively supports these principles through its Official Security Assistance (OSA) framework under the 2022 National Security Strategy, reinforcing regional security with practical measures. Notably, on December 5, 2024, Japan provided the Philippines with coastal radar systems (RHIBs) and air surveillance radar equipment under an OSA grant of 1.6 billion yen to the $10.6 million, bolstering their maritime domain awareness in strategically critical waterways. Complementing this, Japan and the Philippines signed a reciprocal access agreement on July 8, 2024, ratified in December, to facilitate joint exercises and military cooperation, reinforcing interoperable security aligned with Turkey's advocacy for multilateral defense collaboration. Right now, my partner is going to share with you some conclusions.
Peace building. Japan's youth leader called for a world without nuclear weapons, launched in 2023 in collaboration with the UN Office for Disarmament Affairs, brings youth leaders to Hiroshima and Nagasaki to learn from Iwakusha and build nuclear-free advocacy. A direct response to Turkey focused on youth education and diplomacy for conflict prevention. The synergies between Turkey and Japan are clear. Multilateral dialogue, OSA, and reciprocal access agreement. Inclusive peace building, non-lethal security support, conflict preventions via education and youth engagement, disarmament education, and Iwakusha testimony. By merging Turkey's diplomatic and inclusive approach with Japan's defense cooperation and disarmament initiatives, we present a unified strategy to foster a peaceful, secure, and resilient Asia. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Joeun, Achim Ibnida Sinsa Soneyo, Leo Bonche Lemun, America Cristina Mora Hernandez Ibnida. Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is America Cristina Mora Hernandez, and I'm honored to be here with you today as the delegate from South Korea. Today, I will speak about peace and security in Asia, a priority that South Korea promotes through a comprehensive national strategy that blends active diplomacy, robust defense, and international cooperation. This strategy is grounded in three main pillars: defense and deterrence, cooperative diplomacy, and a vision for sustainable peace. South Korea enjoys a relatively high level of security and peace, although regional tensions, especially with North Korea, remain a pressing concern. According to the Global Peace Index, South Korea currently ranks 46 out of 163 countries, showing a notable improvement from its 52nd place last year. Despite tensions, the country remains safe for travelers and maintains low crime rate, with petty crime mainly concentrated in major cities like Seoul and Busan. On December 20, 2018, the South Korean government unveiled a renewed national security strategy focused on security that builds peace. These guidelines outline the nation's goals to resolve the North Korean nuclear issue peacefully, to establish lasting peace, to contribute to the prosperity of Northeast Asia and the world, and to build a society that safeguards the lives and safety of its people. This strategy emphasizes South Korea's proactive leadership, advocating for responsible national defense, cooperative diplomacy, and balanced regional relationship. It reflects a vision that values both strength and diplomacy to maintain peace across the Korean Peninsula and beyond. South Korea today is widely recognized as a democratic, technologically advanced, and resilient nation. It has managed to uphold one of the lowest crime rates globally, maintain a strong economy, and nurture a stable democracy despite ongoing geopolitical challenges. In conclusion, South Korea demonstrates that true security is not only built through military power, but through strong institutions, global cooperation, education, innovation, and the active participation of civil society. It is this integrated approach that solidifies its role as a leader for peace and stability in Asia and around the world. Thank you.
The Chinese fan dance is one of the most graceful and visually captivating forms of traditional Chinese performance. It combines delicate flowing movements with colorful skill or paper fans to create patterns that evoke nature, beauty, and storytelling. Let's welcome the group Whispering Fans, who will dance a traditional Chinese song.
I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the delegates representing the 4 continents who participated in our General Assembly. Your insightful speeches and invaluable contributions have reaffirmed our collective commitment to creating a more sustainable and equitable world, particularly on the global impact of artificial intelligence on jobs, the global impact of artificial intelligence on education, poverty and inequality, peace and security. Today, your dialogue has demonstrated that through open communication, we can reach consensus and address pressing issues such as this. Today, in my capacity as the Secretary General of the United Nations, I hereby today's sessions to a close. I want to express my deepest appreciation of your unwavering dedication and meaningful input. Let us continue to work together towards a brighter future for all. Thank you, and may you all have an excellent day ahead.
Jesús Reyes Saucedo, Adriel Morales Moreno, Kevin Juárez Aparicio, Jimena Cruz Sabino.
Universitario Conversa agradece su asistencia a este evento. Que tenga un excelente día. Por favor, revisen bien sus lugares. No dejen objetos olvidados ni basura. En la parte baja hay contenedores. Ayúdanos a mantener este lugar en perfectas condiciones.